Hi everyone, welcome. FPL Matt Day here, and this is my Game Week 13 top tips video. If you're new here, please give the channel a subscribe, hit that like button, and be sure to get your questions in all ready for another game week. We've obviously had some time off FPL with the international break, so it's really good to get back in the swing of things this week. But we'll start off as usual with the share screen to begin with. I'll share the fancy football website. We'll look at some statistics of players that I'm going to talk about. And we'll start off with my first tip. And this week, I'm going to say be sure to wait for press conferences before you make any transfer moves. And I'll zoom in here and you're going to see exactly why. Look at that on the screen. Flag for Haaland, who I think is going to be okay based on the news that we've heard so far. But Bowen, flag, we don't know how he's going to go yet at the moment. We're waiting apparently on a scan. We're not sure if it's long term. Maddison, we already know, is injured at the moment. And there's a flag there, like Ben White, Mitoma as well, another very popular one. John McGinn. There's plenty of flags on players at the moment. So tip number one, wait for press conferences. There's injuries everywhere. And if you can afford to wait, up until that deadline on Saturday, then please do so. My next tip is be open on your captain pick for this week. And we'll go to the fixtures here. And you'll see on screen, looking at these fixtures, there's a lot of teams that play against each other. Manchester City versus Liverpool. You've got Newcastle, Chelsea, Spurs versus Aston Villa. So there's some big sides playing against each other where we have a lot of their assets condensed into those one or two or three fixtures. And Brentford versus Arsenal is another one as well. So for me, be open on your captain this week. You don't necessarily have to do Salah or Haaland. You can look at someone like Eze from Crystal Palace this game week. Even Son in this Spurs versus Aston Villa game, it could bring lots of goals. You've even got a real differential captain option of Dominic Solanke away at Sheffield United. He's on form. Bournemouth have slowly started to pick up form. So there are plenty of different options, and this is the week to be open on your captain. So tip number three, kind of similar but different to that tip before, but it's still about being open to your decisions, and that's about looking at differentials this week, because there's so many fixtures of teams playing against each other and assets playing against each other that you could probably go for a few differentials this week that are low owned, and they can really give you that sort of 1 week punt type of stuff. So if you go in here, Crystal Palace away at Luton, you've got Eze here on screen, 4% owned, really lowly selected for this game week. Another player who I just mentioned for Bournemouth, so let's go into there now, is Dominic Solanke, the forward, 3.7% owned. Currently, you can see that on screen, 13 points in game week 12, Sheffield United away this week. So another really good differential. And this could be the week to go for those 1 week punts, because like I said, all these teams are playing against each other this week. My next tip, my fourth tip, is don't be also, like I've spoke about differentials, I've spoke about being bold on captains, but tip number 4 is don't be scared to play players that do play against each other though as well. If there's no moves you like, or it's going to affect your long-term plan too much, we have seen times where these players play against each other and there's a lot of goals, like Man City, Liverpool. Haaland could score, Salah, Darwin could score, so you could end up with players coming out of this game okay. Even Spurs Villa, Son might grab a goal. Matt Cash, who a lot of people are selling, he's got a high attacking potential and a high attacking output, as does Watkins. There could be goal returns, assist returns from those players. So don't be scared to play them up against each other if that's what you need to do. And my fifth and final tip for game week 13 is, look, if you can afford to roll your transfer, it might not be the worst idea, because there's a lot of game weeks coming up with this Christmas period. We're going to have a midweek game week coming up soon. I know a lot of managers can't do it because there are so many flags. But this week, like I've mentioned already, it's all about 1 week punts really, and punting on captains because of all these teams playing each other. So if you're not going to go with that strategy and you're going to keep what you got, then nothing wrong in rolling a transfer if you've got that bench coverage for the players that are potentially injured this game week. So there you go. That is my top tips for FPL Game Week 13. As I've mentioned before, please subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Give the video a like and get your comments in with any questions. You can also watch my questions for Game Week 3 that I answered from all of my followers. Lots of really good questions that can help your Game Week 13 problems. You can find that on my channel, as well as plenty of shorts and a deadline stream to come this week. But look, let's leave it there. Thanks to everyone that has tuned in to this quick video of my top tips for the game week. I'm FPL Matt Day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.